All right, good day and welcome back to the channel. Today we're making something super fun. It's November, it's a little chilly, which means for me, it's soup time. So what are we making? We're using some of that leftover smoked or flip-flop grilled Mexican chicken, and we're gonna do a chicken tortilla soup without the tortillas. They're kind of optional. Welcome back to the Farm Cook channel. This is the place where you get to eat well, have fun, and hopefully learn lots, especially about low carb and keto cooking. So now, let's get ready and make some dinner. So today we're going to be making a tortilla soup, a chicken tortilla soup. Recipe was originally from Williams Sonoma. I've modified it a little bit, but it starts off with some onion and some garlic. This is just one small onion diced. And we're gonna saute that up, add some garlic, add some cilantro, get that nice and toasty and fragrant, and then we're gonna drop that into a food processor, mix that up, and then add it back. It's gonna be tasty. So let's get going. So we got a little bit of a fire going under the non-stick pan. We're just dropping in some neutral oil. It's a little avocado oil. And we get the onions into the pan. And because we're going to be putting these in the food processor, actually the Ninja, to blend up, and ultimately it's going to be into soup. You don't have to be real precise with the cutting. That's one of the things that I really love about soup is it doesn't really matter. Just throw stuff in and season it how you like it, and it'll probably be okay. I mean, if you're, and this is just if you're just getting started, don't let knife skills be a barrier to you getting started and actually making something delicious. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just cooking, especially if it's going into soup. So anyway, you can get started, get the pan heated up, and I've got just one basic yellow onion, very roughly chopped, not a fine dice at all. There's some pieces that are smaller and some pieces that are larger. Again, I'm not really looking for perfection. I don't really care. And this, I know, this is going to end up going into a blender or a food processor. So the shape doesn't matter too terribly much. So I'm just going to let this cook for another, I don't know, minute or two, and then we'll be back. All right, so this is the about the color that I want on the onions. It's not a lot. It's some little caramelization, bring out some of the sweetness, but still having some of the sort of oniony character. Then we got, I think this is 2.5, 3 cloves of garlic that's just been squished. Just gonna toss that in, saute these guys around, maybe add another drop. Come on, there we go. Of avocado oil. Start the process. Get these guys sauteing. And then fully integrate it into everything else. And because the garlic is squished, there's so much surface area, don't need to cook them very long, otherwise they can get burned. The next step in the process is taking this mix and dropping it into a container for the Ninja. And we're going to do that along with 12 ounces of whole peeled tomatoes. So these guys go in. Hopefully without burning anything or spilling too much. But if you do, it's okay. You're going to clean up afterwards anyway. Those guys are nice and steamy. It smells amazing. And the next part is a little tomato going in. Again, this is about 12 ounces of tomato. The original recipe calls for 6 ounces of tomato, which I don't think provides enough tomato flavor and character. So double it up, which is just about half of a 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes. All right, now the next step in this process is adding a little bit more oil to the same pan. And what we're going to do is drop in some fresh cilantro. This is, I don't know, maybe half of a bunch of cilantro. It's going to go in and start to get a little bit cooked down because it's a fresh herb. And it's going to provide a little bit different depth of flavor. This is sort of building the backbone of flavor for the dish. And then we're going to add this tomato mixture. Man, is that good. It smells amazing in here. I'm going to get out all of this delicious tomatoey, oniony, garlicky mixture. Make sure everybody gets incorporated really, really well. And we're just going to cook this down for another couple of minutes until it gets nice and thick and bubbly. You'll actually see it start to change color and get really dark. You can already see it happening around the edges, and that's that caramelization, that Maillard reaction that's happening to the mix that is creating additional flavor. So I'm just going to cook this for another, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes until it gets a little bit thicker, a little bit darker, and then we'll move on to the next step in the process, which is making the soup. All right, it's been, I don't know, 2 minutes or so that the tomato mixture has been cooking. Next step in this process, you want to drop in a little bit of cumin. This is about a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ancho chili powder. So that's going to help build that base of flavor. That this is all part of it. This is just concentrating this tomato, oniony, garlicky, cilantro-y base, and then we'll add the seasonings to really bring out the flavors of the already heavily seasoned chicken. It's going to be delicious. So this needs to go for another 2, 3, 4 minutes. Once it starts to get a little bit thicker, a little darker, it'll be ready to go. Add it to the next pot that we're going to make the soup in. All right, this is the color that we're looking for and the sort of thickness that we're looking for. What we're going to do is slide that guy over, drop these guys in. Man, this smells good. You can smell the cumin and the little bit of the peppers. Smells delicious. The ancho pepper. And I think what I'm going to do is take a little bit, and I'm just using boxed chicken broth. I'm going to try and get all of these yummy bits out of the pan and into the pot. And put that over here for now. Get the fire going under here. Drop in the rest of the stock. So this is just a basic 4-cup box of chicken stock, chicken broth. What is it? Chicken stock from Costco. And I like their chicken stock a great deal. Works for me. It's very reasonably priced. And now you can see that this is no longer just chicken stock. This is chicken stock with body. That tomato getting cooked down, plus the onions, plus the garlic and cilantro is really adding a lot of incredible flavor to the soup. It's no longer clear. It's got stuff going on with it, but it's really just the basic veg at this point. So if you wanted to do this as a vegetarian kind of a thing, or not vegetarian if it's chicken stock, but a non-meat-based soup that has a lot of flavor, you could do that. But that's not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is get this guy up to temperature, make sure everybody gets incorporated, and then we're going to drop in all of this beautiful chicken that was left over from the flip-flop Mexican chicken, and I'll link that recipe in the description below. But that was a recipe that was about 5 pounds of chicken thighs, and I certainly enjoyed the couple of rounds of that chicken just as is. But there was probably, I don't know, a little bit more than half maybe left over. So all I did is pulled the chicken skin off, saved that. Oh my gosh, that's delicious stuff. But chicken skin doesn't go very well in soup. It gets really flabby, and nobody likes flabby chicken skin. Or at least, I don't know too many people that do. So I'm going to crisp that up in the air fryer as a snack. But I pulled the meat off of the bones, and that's what's left over here. So might as well drop everybody in the pool. So this is a couple of pounds of that chicken pulled off the bone after it had already been cooked, seasoned very aggressively and cooked, and it's just going to provide tremendous flavor and satiety to this soup. And you can already tell it's looking spectacular. And at this point, we just need to wait for the soup to come up to temperature, have an opportunity for the flavors to mingle, maybe adjust some of the seasoning, but this is it. We're almost done. So that's how easy it is. All right, it's time. It's the moment of truth. I've adjusted the seasoning a little bit, added probably a teaspoon of just salt. That was all it needed to sort of bring up the flavors. It looks delicious, smells delicious. Now it's time to see exactly what we're dealing with here. Let's get our ladle here. Get a nice good sized chunk or scoop of some of the broth and of the chicken. This is going to be a fairly hearty soup, but to amplify things a little bit more, increase the satiety factor, got some what is this? Colby Jack mix, just diced, probably 2-3 ounces. And put that down, add a little bit of fresh lime. There's a little acid, a little bit of lime character. It's going to help bring out the flavors. And just a skosh of some fresh cilantro. Now let's see what we're dealing with here. The soup is quite hot. This only cooked, once everything was together, it only cooked for about 10 minutes. And that's it. It's a very quick dish. The original recipe calls for using boneless, skinless chicken breasts that you actually slice very thin and drop into the soup so it cooks in the soup. The original recipe also called for tortillas that you would cut into long strips, fry them quickly, and then serve along with the soup. So good. And by the way, you certainly could do that if you're enjoying carbs, fry those up. If you're not doing carbs, you could do the low carb tortillas and do that as well. I think this is tasty enough and filling enough so that it doesn't need the tortillas. Man, is this good. Cheese is nice and melty. Broth is beautifully seasoned. Chicken was amazing, just so good. Oh man, what a nice way to warm up on a chilly winter weekend. So give this a shot. Let me know what you think. Happy cooking.